Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing great today. I'm really excited to be here with you on UCLA Day. Super excited to have you all here. This is actually my first time doing one of these kind of broadcasts, so I'm really pumped. I hope you guys are pumped too. All right, so let me start out by introducing myself. My name is Dominique Lightsey, and I am an Assistant Director of Freshman Recruitment here at UCLA. And on behalf of all of my colleagues in the Undergraduate Admission Office, I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your day to come online and learn more about the university. We are ecstatic to have you here, and we hope that the information that we're able to provide you with today gives you a better sense of the university and the opportunities that await you here. So in this session, we will be exploring our notable academics, our extensive research, and our eclectic campus life. And I do also want to let you know that we will be taking some questions throughout the presentation. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A box, and hopefully we'll have enough time to get to them. If not, please head back to our chat session online. We have my colleagues from the Undergraduate Admission Office there to help you out with any questions that I'm not able to get to today. So UCLA is a place of leaders and pioneers, like the visionary Tom Bradley, who was the first Black mayor of Los Angeles and the first 5-term mayor, in fact. And he's also considered a pioneer in social justice. And then we have Eleanor Ostrom, who was the first woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Economics. And James Franco, I'm sure you all are very aware of who he is. Writer, director, entrepreneur, producer, provocateur, all things James Franco. He's also actually an alum of the university as well. And then we have all-time leading scorer in the NBA, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is also an African-American history scholar. Mayim Bialik, actress and neuroscientist who currently stars on The Big Bang Theory. Many people don't know this about her, but she actually received her PhD in neuroscience from UCLA. And then we have, last but certainly not least, Nobel laureate Randy Schekman, who actually began his career in molecular biology at UCLA. These are just some of our fellow Bruins who've changed the face of society, science, and art in extraordinary ways, people who believe that anything is possible and frequently prove it. Now, while I may have started out this presentation talking about the potential outcome of a UCLA education, it really does all start with our faculty. Would you guys like to meet some of them? Yeah? Okay, great. So up first we have Professor Rochelle Crosby Watson in the Department of Integrative Biology and Physiology at UCLA, and she was recently awarded the UCLA Academic Senate Teaching Award and is considered a pioneer in muscular dystrophy research. She's currently using gene therapy as a means to help treat the disease. And then we have Professor Aidegan Ozgen, who leads the Bio and Nanophotonics Lab in the Electrical Engineering Department. And Professor Ozgen was recently heralded by Popular Science magazine as being one of the most brilliant inventors in the world. He actually created a way to test meals for food allergens using a cell phone. Professor Ozgen, along with his undergraduate research students, are also looking into investigating the medical uses of Google Glass. Professor Ozgen is just one of many faculty members that uses research as a way to challenge and support our students. In fact, more than 50% of UCLA students graduate with research experience under their belt, which we really pride ourselves on, and we think it makes them more marketable, whether they're going directly into the workforce or if they're applying into graduate school. And at any given time on UCLA's campus, we have over 6,000 research projects underway. So students can actually get research experience in the STEM fields, which most do, but it extends past the STEM fields and also into the humanities. Now, our majors are just as diverse as our research opportunities, and I do see that we have a question from Brandon Clark. Does UCLA have a great film program? Of course we do. We are UCLA. You can rest assured that all programs available in terms of majors, you're in the top in your program, regardless of major. But speaking of majors, we do have 125 majors that we offer our students. And we have the traditional majors you would expect us to have, like English, history, biology, chemistry. But in addition to that, we have interdisciplinary majors as well. And an interdisciplinary major basically combines courses from different academic departments to create a new major. A prime example of that would be computational and systems biology, which is a mixture of life sciences and engineering courses. Students also have the opportunity to double major if that's something that they're interested in doing. Now, in addition to the 125 traditional and not so traditional majors, we have over 80 minors that students can tack on to their major choice to help individualize their academic experience. Students have the opportunity to tack on 1, 2, or 3 minors. And what I really love about our academic program at UCLA is that regardless of what you decide to major in, you can minor in anything you want. We don't have cookie cutter degrees at UCLA, and you are free to decide exactly how you want to study within your specific interests. Okay. I'm sorry, if you see me looking over, I'm looking to see if any of the questions relate to what we are talking about. So if you're applying into the the College of Letters and Sciences, regardless of what choice you select for your major within that college, we are not admitting you based on major choice. Major choice is not a factor in determining whether or not you'll be offered admission in the College of Letters and Sciences. However, if you're applying into the 4 specialty schools, engineering, arts and architecture, theater, film and television, or nursing, they do admit you based on major. And depending on that major, the admit rates may change. For more information about that, I encourage you to visit our website at ucla.edu, and you can just look up the majors for those specific programs, or the admit rates for those specific programs. Some examples of our minors include music industry, biomedical research, education studies, just to name a few. Now, we do try and keep class sizes small and interactive at UCLA. In fact, 70% of our classes have fewer than 30 students in them. And even when you are in those larger lecture halls, which tend to be during that first year here with us, you do break out into smaller discussion settings once a week that average about 20 students max. So we do make sure that you have that one-on-one time with your professors, as well as those study sessions with your TAs. There are 2 very innovative programs that we are extremely proud of in terms of helping our students get acclimated to the curriculum of our campus, and those are the freshman clusters and the Fiat Lux seminars. Now, a freshman cluster is a year-long course taught collaboratively by a team of distinguished faculty, and they help you meet at least 1/3 of your general education requirements. The freshman Fiat Lux seminars, and first of all, Fiat Lux stands for Let There Be Light, which is our creed here at UCLA. But the Fiat Lux seminars are 1-unit courses that you take that are pass-fail, so they don't harm your GPA in any way. And they're basically discussion settings where you are in a class with 20 other students and your professor. And you engage in very interesting topics. For instance, there's one offered this year known as Hollywood. You'll never make it in this town alone. And then the other, which if any of you are huge Walking Dead fans like myself and you can't wait until October, they offered one last quarter known as Zombies versus Clone and the anxiety around being human in today's society. So very engaging topics that are supposed to foster that communication between the professors and the student staff. Now, another opportunity that we provide our students is the opportunity to study abroad. We do consider ourselves a global institution in that we have students from all 50 states and over 120 countries that call UCLA home. Students are able to study in over 42 countries. Just to name a few, there are Brazil, Paris. A lot of our students go to Spain. That's actually our most popular destination for study abroad here at UCLA. But students can study in over 42 countries at over 140 host institutions. You can study for a short semester, like a summer long, or you can fully immerse yourself in the culture and study for an entire year. All courses taken within our study abroad program is completely transferable, so you don't have to worry about taking time off from your degree to study abroad. Now, when our students aren't living and learning abroad, they are living and learning on the Hill. So the Hill is what we call our residential area on campus. And we call it the Hill because for those of you who've never visited campus, you have to walk up a hill to get to your dorms and then walk back down that hill to get to main campus, which is about a 15-20-minute walk. Can be tiring, but it keeps you in shape throughout your 4 years in college. So you don't have to worry about that freshman 15 with us. 94% of freshman students stay on campus their first year. It is not required or mandatory, but students do get a wealth of opportunity to engage with each other on the Hill. And I think that's what actually causes our students to flock to the Hill for that freshman year. We do guarantee housing for 3 years for freshman students and 1 year for transfer students. Opportunities on the Hill include mingling with our faculty and residents. So we do actually have faculty members that stay on the Hill as well, that actually hold classes there, have discussion meetings, in an effort to engage our students and meet them where they are, which is something we really pride ourselves on doing here at UCLA. There are also opportunities to get together and meet. We have different study spaces, computer labs, places to have fun. For example, we have a host of tennis courts, swimming pools, basically whatever you need to bide your time while you're not in class. Everything you need is on the Hill. Now, whether our students live on campus or off, they will have access to over 1,000 student clubs and organizations. These organizations are as diverse as our student population in that we have clubs and organizations related to different religious, ethnic, political backgrounds, whether it be related to sexual orientation. We have clubs, a lot of our clubs are actually based around community service. One that comes to mind off the top of my head is the Pediatric AIDS Coalition, otherwise known as PAC, that puts on the largest student-run event on campus known as Dance Marathon. And how many of you have heard of Dance Marathon? Okay, one person said they heard of it. Great, great. Okay, so Dance Marathon is actually where students dance for 26 hours straight to raise money for children affected by AIDS and HIV. And in the past 12 to 13 years that we've had this, this organization on campus, we've raised over $3.6 million for the cause. In addition to the types of clubs and organizations that I just talked about, we also have Greek life. So if you're interested in pledging a sorority or fraternity, that is a possibility as well. About 15% of the student population participates in Greek life. So it's definitely a part of the campus that we appreciate, but it is not a dominating factor. So it's not something that you have to do in order to make friends. Now, our athletics teams really do bring the Bruin community together. At every sporting event, we make sure to show up and show out in support of our student athletes. We've actually won more NCAA Division I championships than any other school in the nation at 111 and counting. And as you can see, our women's tennis team actually brought home the most recent trophy. I believe it was this past May. Whenever you visit the campus, which I strongly urge you to do, please do us a favor and check out the Morgan Center. That's where we have all of our championships on display, and you can go in and count all 111 of them if you wish. In terms of sports, on campus we have Pauley Pavilion, which I'll show you where that is a little bit later, but that's where all of our basketball games are held. And then in terms of our football games, we actually do not have a stadium on campus for our NCAA football tournaments. But we do go to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and we go out in droves. Now, if you're interested in playing sports but not at that competitive of a level, we do have 54 club and 35 intramural sports teams that really allow you to continue that involvement that you may have had in high school. Examples include hockey, soccer, lacrosse, wushu. We even have 2 championship-winning Quidditch teams, for those of you who are Harry Potter fans out there. So let's talk a little bit about where we're located. So UCLA is located in Westwood Village, and Westwood Village is quickly becoming the center for art and culture on this side of town, with the Geffen Playhouse, which is where a lot of theater companies who are traveling throughout Los Angeles to host plays make a stop. There's the Hammer Museum, they have amazing exhibits that they change out throughout the year, and of course the Fox Theater, which is where a lot of major motion picture companies actually have their movie premieres right off campus. So a lot of students hang out so they can get pictures with celebrities. Everything is literally within walking distance in terms of Westwood. There are a lot of places to shop, a lot of places to eat. For instance, Dee Reese. I don't know how many of you have been to campus, but if you ever find yourself on campus, you have to go to Westwood and get get an ice cream sandwich from Dee Reese. It's delicious, and I think it's like $1.50. The line might be pretty long, but it's worth the wait, I promise. All right, so I really love this shot of campus because it shows you where we are in relation to a lot of other well-known parts of Los Angeles. As you can see, if you look, and I think you can see my cursor, I'm not sure, but right under the UCLA logo, right at the edge of that box, all the way around to under Beverly Hills, and then right before you get to the molecule that says Brentwood inside, and then all the way around to Santa Monica and through Westwood. That's UCLA's campus. And it might look huge, but little known fact about us, we're actually the smallest campus, the smallest UC campus in terms of lot size. So that means that we have 419 acres, and compared to our sister schools or sister campuses, they have bigger spaces than we do. But with that being said, we actually have the largest number of students in terms of population. So we have roughly 42,000 students, which includes our graduate and undergraduate level students. So Pauley Pavilion, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor. Let me see. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but Pauley Pavilion is actually this big building that's kind of in the middle right there. And I'm not even going to go through that because I'm not sure whether or not you could see or not. But anyway, we are in one of the safest and greenest parts of Los Angeles County. We are bordered by Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and Bel Air. We're about 5 miles out from the Pacific Ocean and the beach cities of Santa Monica and Venice, which students normally go down to the beach cities and stay for a weekend just to kind of unwind after they've had a week of classes. And then we're about 12 miles out from downtown LA and LAX. And students who are coming from out of state or internationally who will frequent LAX quite a bit to get back home during the holidays, we do have a flyaway shuttle that comes directly to campus and picks students up and takes them directly to LAX. And I believe they pass through every hour on the hour. So Los Angeles. I am not a native of Los Angeles. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, and I think when I moved out here, one of the things that really struck me about this city is the fact that it is culturally vibrant, which is very important to me. It's bustling with innovative business, and it's the arts and entertainment capital of the world. So students have all of this in their own backyard. And I think also in terms of UCLA and how Los Angeles relates to us is that our students have the access to internships, whether they be in the STEM fields or in the major motion picture companies or in the music industry. All of that is literally at their fingertips. Los Angeles also serves as an extension of our classroom in that sometimes our professors do actually teach courses throughout Los Angeles or using Los Angeles as a backdrop. Prime example of that would be award-winning astronomer Andrea Ghez, who actually teaches some of her courses at the Griffith Observatory, which you can see at the middle picture on the bottom of the screen. All right, so I do want to talk to you a little bit about the opportunities for hands-on experience along with our stellar academics. I kind of already went over that with you, but I think it's really all of those opportunities that led us to be top ranked in the world. We are actually ranked number 8 in terms of top universities in the world, which is a huge deal when you think about it. And then moving on a little bit further, in terms of the Forbes Entrepreneurial Colleges, we are number 5 on that list. So we're in their top 10, and we're really, really proud of that. It basically means that students who come to UCLA are more likely to start successful businesses while they're in school. And we are number 2 on Princeton's review in terms of their annual survey of best value public universities. But most importantly, of all of the rankings, I think the one that we are most proud of is that our students are the happiest freshmen in all state schools. And they're probably looking at something on Instagram, I'm not sure. Now I want to switch gears just a little bit to talk to you about the application process, as I know some of you might be a little bit concerned about how that works. Now, before we even get into the details of the application, I do want to talk about the financial aid that's available for our students. We do understand that paying for college is a huge investment, and we want our students to know that if they are offered admission at UCLA, we are dedicated to helping them afford it. We do have scholarships, loans, work-study programs, grants available for students who actually get accepted to UCLA. I do also want to point out that for students who are coming from out of state or international, I would suggest that you do your research and look for scholarships, nationally recognized scholarships that you can use at any institution, because that will help you in terms of paying for your education. For in-state students, the average cost of attendance is roughly $33,000. For out-of-state and international students, the average cost of attendance is $55,000. For more information about the scholarships that we offer, whether it be merit or need-based, please visit the UCLA Financial Aid website, as they have a list of those scholarships and the criteria you need to qualify for them available there. Okay, my favorite part of the presentation, it's going to talk about the application process. As an assistant director of freshman recruitment, I am one of the people that reviews these applications. And so I just kind of want to walk you through that. And if you have any questions about how we go about reviewing those applications, don't hesitate to ask me. It looks like we'll have a little bit of time. Hold on, let me check out the time. Yeah, it's looking like we'll have a little bit of time so I can answer some of the questions that I see populating the Q&A box, okay? Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the timeline for the application process. The application officially opened on August 1st. So for those of you who started working on your applications earlier rather than later, thank you. We really appreciate that. That's the whole reason we opened it earlier. We don't want you to feel rushed. We want you to take as much time as you need to make sure you're submitting an application that you are proud of, and an application that is absolutely 100% complete. Now, while you can start working on your application now, you cannot submit until the month of November, with the deadline being November 30th at 11:59 p.m., no exceptions. Regardless of when you submit your application in November, whether it's the 1st or the 30th, we will review all applications at the same time. We do not have early action, early decision, early admission, none of the earlies. We're going to review all the applications at the same time, and we're going to release all of our decisions at the same time, which is usually mid to late March. After the decisions have been released, students have until May 1st to let us know whether or not they will accept our offer of admission. And then they have until July 1st, for those that have accepted our offer, to submit their final transcripts to the undergraduate admission office. We do utilize a wait list. We're coming up on our 3rd cycle of utilizing a wait list during the admission process. For that, I would like to say that our wait list is not a list. It's more like a pool of students. There is no number 1 on the list versus 350 on the list. So it's just a pool of students. The other thing I want to say is that the wait list is opt-in only. So if for whatever reason you receive during the decision, when you log into the decision site for your decision, If you receive a letter that says, unfortunately, we regret to inform you we are not able to offer you admission at this time, but if you would like to opt into our wait list, please do such and such and such. If you would like to be considered for our wait list, which again is a pool of applicants that will be re-reviewed if there are seats available, you must opt in. Okay, so our philosophy. I hear quite a few things about how people think we review applications, and most of the time it's not 100% accurate. So we're going to do a kind of Mythbusters session here. So when we're reviewing applications, we are looking at each application through an individualized perspective, and we're looking at the students holistically. So that means no one component of the UC application will result in a student either being offered admission or denied. Put it in layman's terms, we wouldn't just admit a student because they had a 4.0 GPA, and we wouldn't just deny a student because they got a D in a class. We're looking at everything. We're looking at a wide variety of factors, which I will cover with you a couple slides away. But the reason we're doing that is we want well-rounded individuals. We want students who have a strong command of their academics, but are also socially aware and engaged in their communities and their high schools. That is the culture of the UCLA campus, and that's the creed of our students. They work extremely hard when it comes to academics, but they play hard just as well. Every application is read twice by 2 reviewers, and we read them blindly. So that means when I open an application and begin reading it, I don't know if I'm the first person or the second person. Some students may go on to receive 3rd and 4th additional reads. This is how we make sure that no one person is deciding the fate of a student's admission to UCLA. It's also how we make sure that each student receives a fair review process, fair and honest review process. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the numbers. I'm sure those of you who have done your research on the campus, on UCLA and the campus, you know that we are a very highly selective campus. Uh-oh. Oh, I just got a letter that I'm frozen. Wait, am I still frozen? Can everybody, 1 second. Let me make sure. Can everyone see me? I think I'm okay now. Let me see. Oh, Spencer, thank you. You are not, okay, Spencer, Austin, and Yanina said, I am not frozen. They can see me. Thank you so much. Diana did too. Okay, we're back. All right, so I know you've done your research on the campus and you know that we're very highly selective and we receive a lot of applications, trust me. It gets really interesting when it's time for us to review those applications. I make a lot of horrible decisions in terms of what I eat when I'm reviewing these applications. But yes, we do. This past cycle, we received roughly 86,000 freshman applications, and we have an admit rate of 18%. Of the 86,000 applications we received, we offered roughly 16,000 students admission to UCLA. And classes start today, and we have a class size for our freshman students at roughly 5,700 students. If you have any more questions related to the applications in terms of numbers, just put them in the box and we'll get to those at the end of the presentation. Okay, so when I was talking to you earlier about the holistic review process and all the things that we're looking at, it's basically this information that you see here. So in terms of academic history, like I said, we're looking for students who have a strong command of their academics. And that doesn't just mean receiving all A's and B's. It also means challenging yourself by taking college prep courses, whether it be AP or if you're working on the International Baccalaureate Diploma. Those are things that we like to see. We like to have evidence that students are stepping outside of their comfort zone and taking those challenging courses. As far as standardized test scores are concerned, we do not have a preference. We will either take the ACT plus writing or the SAT reasoning. In terms of minimums or cutoffs, there are none. Regardless of what you get on those exams, we do encourage you to apply, and we will review all applications we received, regardless of the test scores. Another thing I want to note about standardized testing is that we take the highest score from one sitting. So that means we do not superscore like some other universities. So the highest score from one sitting. Grades are initially self-reported. What that means is you do not send UCLA transcripts during the application process. Instead, you will get a transcript from your high school, input that information exactly as it looks on the transcript into the application. We will accept it, review it as true, correct, all those good things. And then, if you're offered admission to the university, then at that time, we will request those final transcripts. So remember what I said earlier about the 5 colleges at UCLA, right? Remember what those were? Letters and Sciences, Arts and Architecture, Theater, Film and Television, Nursing, and Engineering. Now, if you're applying into one of our specialty schools, which are the 4, Engineering, Arts and Architecture, Theater, Film and Television, and Nursing, they have supplemental information that they ask you for in addition to the UC app, to help them to determine whether or not you will be offered admission. Now, I strongly suggest that you visit the UCLA website to find the most accurate information as to what they're looking for in addition to the UC application. But I can give you an example. Let's use engineering. How many of you are thinking about engineering? If you are, just say me. You can just type me. See if we have any engineers in here. Let's see. No engineers? Nobody wants to do engineering. Let me see. Oh, Alan. Hi, Alan and Jeffrey and Phoebe. Yay. Okay. So, oh wait, there's more. Yes, Austin wants to do computer science. Okay, cool. All right, so for those of you who are interested in engineering, they strongly suggest that you take the SAT 2 subject exams and a math level 2 and a science closely related to the field of engineering you're planning on studying. So if you're thinking bioengineering, then a biology SAT 2 subject exam would work fine. For those of you who are not going into the engineering program, SAT 2 subject exams are not required for admission into the UC system. Okay? That doesn't mean that you can't take them if you want to. If you want to, that's fine. Some other schools, some other colleges do actually require that. But for us, if you're not going into engineering, you don't need to take it. Now, if you're going into nursing, arts and architecture, or theater, film, and television, please visit their websites at ucla.edu to find out exactly what additional information they require with your application. I do want to switch gears for a little bit and talk about the personal essays, or the personal statements, as I like to call them. We have 2 prompts. The first being, describe the world you come from, for example, your family, community, or school, and how that world has shaped your dreams and aspirations. The second is, tell us about a personal quality, accomplishment, contribution, or experience, and what about that experience makes you most proud. You have to respond to both of those prompts. You have 1,000 words total that you can split between the 2 however you like, but the smallest of the prompts cannot be less than 250 words. These essays really do provide us with more insight into who you are as a person outside of your academics, outside of your extracurricular activities. It provides us with more background information about you. And I'll tell you another reason it's important a little bit later. Now, in terms of activities and achievements, both inside and outside the classroom, we're basically asking about the clubs and organizations that you are a part of. If you've done community service, if you have a part-time job, maybe you babysit on weekends, all of that information is important to us. We want to know what you're engaged in because that's important. Again, it's how we go about looking for those well-rounded students, students who are socially engaged and aware in their communities and their high schools. If you've been a part of a lot of clubs and organizations and you're not sure which ones you should put on the application, think these 3 things: leadership, longevity, and compassion. If you've been a part of these clubs for 2 years or more, or maybe if you were even one of the founding members, we love to see that you're actually engaged and you're helping to change the club for the better. If you are secretary or president or captain, we like to see that. We love to see leadership. We're looking for the future leaders of America. And so if it starts in your extracurricular activities, that's a really good indication that you're a leader to us. Now, if you've won awards or honors, whether it be in your classroom, say you're an AP scholar, that's something we appreciate as well. And if you are a talented artist or musician, or if you've been voted most valuable player, those are things that we want to hear about from you. So make sure you put that in your college applications as well. The application is only available online at universityofcalifornia.edu/apply. And what was the deadline again? Make sure you guys, what's the deadline? I want to make sure you guys remember. When's the deadline to submit your application? We're not moving on until I see it. When's the deadline? Brielle, you're awesome. November 30th. Yay! Brielle, Hannah, Noah, Tuscany. Oh my God, you guys are great. Austin, yes, you're listening. All right, so one of the last things I do want to talk to you about is how our application differs from other schools. And I'm going to wrap this up quickly because I see a lot of good questions that I want to make sure I get to. How our application differs from other universities. First thing is we have a common application, but we're not on the common application. So that means you can apply to up to 9 of the 10 UC campuses using this one application. We will review those applications independently, so that means you don't have to worry about us calling each other and saying, hey, what are you going to do with this student? We do not do that. It is very possible for you to be admitted to all the UC campuses you apply to. It's possible to be denied to all of the UC campuses. We review them independently, okay? Now, personal essays, I do want to touch back on that a little bit. In terms of the personal essays, another reason they're really important is that we do not accept letters of recommendation and we do not conduct interviews. So essentially, the essays are your only opportunity to make your best case for admission and to speak directly to the person that's reviewing your applications. And I'm going to answer Tuscany's question because it's pretty much on the same topic I'm talking about right now. Are the prompts the same every year or do they change? The answer is no. They haven't changed in years and we don't expect them to change. We keep them very open-ended and vague because it allows our students to take those essays wherever it is that they want to take them. So whatever you decide to talk about, it's fine with us. We just make sure you answer the question. And no, the prompts will not be changing anytime soon. You're welcome, Mallory. Again, when we go back to the extracurricular activities, community services, I just want to drive home again that you tell us about your clubs, your organizations, and think leadership, longevity, and compassion, okay? And the last thing I want to say on this slide is, again, we really do try to make sure that we're reviewing our students from an individualized approach through our holistic review process. You are more than a set of numbers. You're more than test scores. You are more than GPA. You're a multifaceted person. And so we have a multifaceted review process to make sure we're taking all of your achievements, both inside and outside of the classroom, into consideration. Now, your next step should be on campus. You've already taken it this far by starting on your application, which I'm so happy that most of you have started already. And by coming to UC Day, which all of my colleagues here in the undergraduate admission office are super thankful that you took the time out of your day to come and learn more about the university online. But now you need to take it a step further and you need to come and see us on campus. The pictures don't do us any justice. Once you get here, you really do feel that optimistic energy that kind of relates back to what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about our leaders and pioneers. There is an energy that permeates throughout this entire campus that makes you feel that you can do anything and anything is possible, okay? All right, so if you have any more questions, I'm going to answer a few right now, but I would just like to direct you to the admission.ucla.edu/ Info Perspective website. That's where you can find out more information about our majors, minors, application process, our preliminary figures for this past cycle. All of that information is there. But at this time, I'm going to head over to Q&A and take some of your questions. Hannah's question was, what is the average GPA and ACT score for incoming freshmen? So Hannah, in terms of GPA, we are looking at both your weighted and your unweighted, but our last admitted class had an average of roughly 3.89 in terms of unweighted and about 4.3 in terms of weighted. I do want you to keep in mind that the numbers that I'm about to share with you are averages. The mid 50% of those students offered admission to UCLA scored these averages in terms of SAT and ACT, and the same goes for GPA. We do not have minimums or cutoffs, so if your GPA is a little bit lower or if your test scores are a little bit lower, I do not want you all to be discouraged and not apply. Again, we have a holistic review process. So in terms of the SAT, last year our students scored between a 26 and a 34 on that, and that's again mid 50% of those students. And then in terms of the SAT, it was between a 1930 and a 2220. Okay, let me mark that as answered. Okay, Sergio asked, what do you write about in your personal statement? I went to college a while ago. Are you saying I look young, Sergio? Okay. I don't even remember what I talked about in my personal statement. I think I talked about my family or something like that. But what I would suggest that you do is, and this is my honest to goodness, surefire way to write an effective personal statement, start by answering the question first. Whether it be telling us about the world you come from or how your world has shaped your dreams and aspirations. Start with the answer for the question first. And then think back to experiences that you've had or role models in your life that really can help add on to the question. I think a lot of times students get wrapped up in trying to write very flowery language about their families or their communities or their schools, and they forget to answer the question. So always start with the question first and then work your way back. Okay, let's see. Thank you for that question, Sergio. Uh-oh. One second, guys. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Brielle. Brielle asked, does the School of Theater, Film, and Television allow its students to minor in other subjects? Yes. Again, like I said in the presentation, we do not have cookie cutter degrees at UCLA, and we do not put our students in a box. Regardless of what it is that you are getting your degree in or working towards your degree in, you can minor in any of the 80 minors. We actually have mechanical engineering students who minor in theater. We have students who may be majoring in biochemistry that minor in theater. So it's completely up to you. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now we have a question from Iris that says, is it easy to transfer from the College of Letters and Sciences to the College of Engineering? We strongly suggest that if you are interested in the 4 specialized schools, again, engineering, arts and architecture, nursing, or engineering, arts and architecture, nursing, or theater, film, and television, that you apply directly into those programs. With the supplemental applications and supplemental information they ask you for in addition to the UC apps, that's how they determine whether or not they will offer admission to those students. And they do not reserve seats for students who come in through letters and sciences and then decide that they would like to go into one of the 4 specialized schools. That doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means that if you come in through letters and sciences or come in undeclared and you're interested in going into one of the 4 specialty schools, you would need to petition to that school to change your major into one of their programs. And then it's completely up to them whether or not they will allow you to major in one of their majors. Hope that makes sense. Brenda, yes, we do have a study abroad program. You can study in over 42 countries at over 140 programs. Brenda also asked, does SAT and ACT scores matter when applying to UCLA? Yes, they do. We, again, have that holistic review process, but you do need to take at least one of those exams in order to qualify for admission. And again, there's no cutoffs or minimums. Okay, Tuscany asks, why is Spain a place many students study abroad at? Very good question, Tuscany. I have no idea. One of my colleagues she actually studied abroad in Spain while a student here. And then after she graduated, she moved to Spain and worked for a year. And now she's back here in the office. So I think I'm going to have a heart-to-heart with her and say, so why did you go to Spain? I think it all boils down to where the students want to go. Okay, let's see. Mallory said, is there good spirit at the games, basketball or football? Mallory, yes. We are extremely competitive when it comes to athletics, and we make sure that when our students are playing with other schools, that we are out there to support them. So yes, crazy Bruin spirit. Okay. Okay, Iris asked, if I am kind of interested in engineering but not very sure, should I apply to College of Engineering or College of Letters and Sciences? There is an undeclared engineering selection that you can make. If you aren't sure which program within engineering you're applying into, you can select undeclared engineering, or you can select undeclared in letters and sciences. We do try and make sure that our students know that they have access to counselors that really help them figure out what it is that they want to study. It's okay if you're not sure at this moment what you want to study. There's a lot of things that you can get involved in terms of academics. So don't feel the pressure to do either or. But at the end of the day, it really is up to you and what you think would be best. Jamie said Westwood is the best. It's one of the reasons why I want to go to UCLA so badly. Awesome. You sound like you've been here, Jamie. Yanina asked, does the campus empty out on weekends? No. UCLA is always busy. I think the only time campus is kind of empty is around the holidays, around Christmas time, when students go home. But weekends, there's always something going on here. Okay, so Noah said, so Noah has taken dual credit classes where he got college and high school credit with his classes. Awesome. Noah, I also did something similar to that when I was in high school. I did dual enrollment as well, where I took some college courses at my local community college. And he wants to know, I'm a senior and currently have 46 college credits. Where can I show this on my application? And is this unique at all? It is definitely something that I would say is fairly unique. But we do have students who are also taking dual enrollment courses. It really does show us that you're preparing yourself for the college curriculum in that you're already taking these courses. So that looks really good to us. Now, you said, where can I show this on my application? So there is actually a part in the application or a section in the application that asks if you've taken any college courses. You will list them all under that section. So all of the college courses that you've taken and the grades you've received, you will list under there. Manita asked, can you please talk about the Blue and Gold Opportunity Program? Yes, So within the UC system, we do have two financial programs available for California residents, and that's the Blue and Gold Opportunity Program and the Middle Class Scholarship Program. And for the Blue and Gold Opportunity Program, students have to qualify, California residents have to qualify for financial aid by filling out their FAFSA. If they filled out their FAFSA, they qualify for financial aid, and their parents earn less than $80,000, they will receive enough scholarships and grants to cover their tuition. Now, the Middle Class Scholarship Program is a program for students who qualify for financial aid, and again, these are California residents only, who qualify for financial aid, have filled out their FAFSA, and if their parents earn more than $80,000 but less than $120,000, they could receive enough scholarships and grants to cover up to 40% of their tuition. Very good question, Manita. You all have some really good questions today. I'm excited. Don't forget, I have 2 minutes left, so I'm going to try and answer 2 more questions, but do not forget, we will be in the chat sessions until 5 p.m. Pacific time today. So if you want to ask more questions, you can do so there. Okay. All right, Jamie. Jamie says, both of my parents are UCLA alumni, and I literally grew up in a UCLA household. Awesome. You were raised right, Jamie. This being said, does having alumni for parents play a role in the admission process? No, it does not. We do not take legacy into consideration during the application process. So, unfortunately, that is not considered. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Thank you again so much for coming. Again, my name is Dominique Lightsey, and I am an Assistant Director of Freshman Recruitment. And on behalf of the Undergraduate Admission Office at UCLA, thank you for coming out, and we hope you've learned all you wanted to know about the university. And if you have any other questions, please visit us at ucla.edu. Bye.